Yeah.
The biggest joke is I'm like, I open at 11 and people are like, so when do you get to work? 11. I just said that. What part of I open at 11? The key is in the door at 11. I throw the door open. Welcome.
Welcome to the Big Dane podcast. I'm your host, Dana Trimborn, and in this podcast, find the connection in the weird experiences that we all share. Listen to new episodes on Tuesdays wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is supported by the artist Loft in Conshohocken, PA. Art by local artists of all mediums, which include paintings, jewelry, ceramics, and much more. Check out their Instagram account at _artistloft. Hey friends, in this week's episode, I'm chatting with Matt Mashaintonio, owner of the Artist Loft in Conshy, and we'll get into his weird things that he does in his daily routine. Yes, he's a night owl, but learn what he does at night while most people are sleeping. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited that you're here. I've been in the Artist Loft a few times now, probably more than a few times if I'm being honest, but it has been a minute, but I need to come back and check it out, see what's going on for the summer.
Absolutely, yeah. We always have a ton of new stuff coming in, and we have a ton of new stuff. I would know. I was just entering everything into inventory today. So yeah, we have a lot of great, cool, new local art made by local artists. Well, of course. If it's local
Love
art.
that. Awesome. Well, before we get into your routine, just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from.
Gotcha. So, as it's been stated, my name is Matt. I'm from the Norristown, Conshohocken area. Born and raised in Norristown, spent about 40% of my childhood in Conshohocken. So that's kind of my connection here. So when I got the chance to take over a store in town, I jumped at it. Because I didn't think I would be able to have a store in Conshohocken. It's just a crazy place and buildings never open up. So I got that opportunity. So took over the Artist Loft. We sell art by local artists. I kind of got into that game because I started to refinish furniture, paint furniture, upcycle it, as Pinterest would call it. So I worked in small businesses and always wanted to have a store. And then, sometimes you get what you wish for. And that's kind of nice.
That's amazing. I love that you kind of just, you knew what you wanted to do. You had a vision and you went for it.
Yeah, pretty much. Made some crazy decisions. Like, I went to Montco, was supposed to transfer to Temple 2 days before. Called them and said, I'm not coming. I want to try to open and start my own business.
Get out.
Which is a very crazy thing to do. Would not always recommend, but I was, 22, 21 then. I don't know how old I am now. And I was like, this is the only chance I have to do it. I have no responsibilities. I have no mortgage. I have no, tons of bills and stuff. So I can just try this. If it doesn't work, fine. Temple's not going anywhere. They've been around for tons of years, or wherever I, go to school. School will always be there. So try this now. If it doesn't work, who cares? So I tried it, and so far so good.
That's wonderful. I mean, yeah, that's pretty gutsy to do that. I don't think I could say that I could do that, but hey, if an opportunity arises and you're ready,
absolutely,
just gotta go after it.
And we all have our own things that we decide to do. Like, most people sit around and think about starting a podcast, and they never do it.
This is true.
And you did. A lot of people sit around and think about starting their own business, and they never do it. And I did. And then those people who are sitting and thinking did their own things. We all have our own crazy things that we've done. And hopefully they've all worked out for everybody.
Yeah.
As long as they're good.
No, that's a very good point. Like, I'm sure there's many people that say this all the time with trying to be an entrepreneur, and then it's like, well, I don't have the time or this or that. And like, I'm trying to think of back when I didn't have the podcast, and I think what was I doing in my spare time?
Yeah.
You know, because you do have the nights. You have many hours after work, and I work at a very fast-paced job, and sometimes it can be long hours. But I'm still able, I'm here, I'm doing this, you know. But it also, you know, I get excited about doing this, and I think that's what's important too for, you know, someone to think about if they want to start their own business or something.
Definitely, yeah. Do what excites you. Take the risk if you can. And I kind of weighed it. I was like, okay, if I don't go to school right now, start a business and fail, okay, then I go back to school. I continue what I was on the path of doing. Mm-hmm. And I made sure to do it then because, like I said, I didn't have that much to lose. I'm sure if I had, like I said, a mortgage or a family or whatever people have, I may have not been able to. So I was like, well, I'm a child. Early 20s is still childhood to me. So let's just try it and see what happens, you know? And sometimes you take risks and you just have to weigh, is this a good idea for me or not? Right. And I was like, I think I want to do this. And my parents were like, I mean, if that's what you want to do, sure. Why stop you? That's
great. I'm so glad they like supported you.
Oh, absolutely. I was very, very lucky that they were like, no, go ahead. That's fine. That sounds like a good idea. It's kind of what you want to do.
All right. Let's get into your routine now that we've heard a little bit about yourself and everything going on at the Artist Loft.
Absolutely.
So let's start, you know, from the minute you wake up, you know, to, you know, the evening into the night.
Gotcha. So the first thing I do when I wake up is be annoyed that I have to be awake. I like hearing my alarm is not my favorite thing in the world. But then I wake up at the last possible second. And the first thing I do is grab my phone. And I say that because I hate that. I hate that the first thing I do is check notifications that I got an email from Old Navy that I could get 15% off this weekend. I don't need to know that the first thing I wake up. You know, I don't need to know that I got a Snapchat from my friend that her cat was doing something cute. That's great for later, but that's not great. So I was actually literally thinking 2 days ago, I should just get an alarm clock and throw my phone in the drawer, if not in a different room, because it upsets me that I do that.
Yes.
The way we're attached to our phones is awful. So
oh my gosh. So I actually have I'm gonna call it a real alarm clock.
Yes.
Because it is not my phone. It's battery operated. I've had this clock for probably over 10 years now because it still works and I replaced the battery.
Nice.
So the noise isn't that great to wake up to, so I'm like just kind of used to it. But then like I feel like I still will look at my phone. Yeah, and I think it's just the nature of like how we lit like society, you know.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? And I don't like that I do that.
No.
But it just happens.
It does. And we do definitely live in a society, throw back to that meme, where everything is very immediate because our phones are always in our hands. You know, if somebody texts you, they expect that you text them back. And very quickly, I will let texts go now for like a day, sometimes two. Not always great, but it's just like, I just can't right now. So the fact that that's the first thing I do when I wake up is, like I said, it's upsetting. So that needs to change. That needs to shift.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's the first thing I do when I wake up, after being angry. And then I guess the next thing I do is shower. I refuse to do anything until I can shower. Are you towing my car? I need to shower before I deal with that. Because I will be grumpy. I will be upset. I feel just gross, I guess. I'm one of those people in the morning where I'm like, oh, my hair is too greasy. No, I refuse to do anything. So that's like the next thing I do. Will not do anything until that happens. And then after that, it's kind of just me meandering around trying to pretend like I'm getting ready for the day. I don't really have a routine. I like quickly brush my hair and like, you know, like I said earlier when we were talking before this, I was like, I just kind of go into the kitchen and throw random things in my bag and be like, I guess this will be lunch. And it's a thing of grapes and like graham crackers, and that's not healthy, but it's like what I threw in the bag. And then I usually fill up my water bottle, and I am out the door. I try to leave. This is going to sound really bad. I try to leave so that I can open the store on time. Isn't that what anybody would normally do? Yes. Is it bad that I am my own boss and have to hold myself accountable for opening on time? It's awful. And there's always traffic. Like I said, I don't live in Conshy anymore. I actually live about 30 minutes away now. So, sometimes there's just traffic and construction, and I just look at the clock and I go, okay, let's see. I have to open at 11. It is 10:50, and I'm at least 15 minutes away.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, okay. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. It's great therapy to be like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. You didn't leave earlier, so now we're doing this.
Okay.
So, my morning routine is chaos. It is just wake up, shower, get in car, and hopefully open the store at 11, by the way. It's not like I open the store at like 8 a.m. I open at 11. So the fact that it is such a struggle to open at lunchtime, to most people, that's weird. To me, a night owl, that is early.
Okay.
Oh, I also open at 10 on the weekends, okay? Just throwing that out there.
A little bit earlier.
A little early. It might as well be 3 a.m. I don't know.
So, with your morning wake up routine, that's not a routine, really. Was there a moment in time where it looked a little bit different, or was it more like when you started, having your own business, that maybe it wasn't, that it kind of became a little chaotic? Or maybe tell me a little bit about that.
It's always been chaos.
It's always been
chaos. Just put it that way, because I think back to high school, which starts freakishly early for growing children. It is not appropriate. That needs to be pushed back. I don't know who I need to call. Well, a lot of things that need to get done first, but still, it's very, very early. And I think my high school ended at 2:10, but we still had to get there by 7:15 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a morning person. It doesn't work. So it's always been wake up, get in a shower, hopefully have lunch packed, and then just show up to where I need to be.
Okay.
It's literally always been like that. I know some people like to wake up and look at the sunrise and have their coffee and check the news of the day, and I'm Tasmanian devil into the car at work, hoping for the best every morning.
Have you ever, because you're moving very quickly in the morning, have you ever forgotten something on your way to the store and then had to drive by?
Yes, I've forgotten things. I try to be like, oh, well, I guess I don't have that today. If it's something really important, I'm supposed to give this person who's coming today this thing.
Right.
I need to go get it. If it's I forgot my water bottle and I have no water at work, okay, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
It's I try to, as somebody who's as anxious I am, I try to go, okay, well, we'll figure this out. It's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
Whatever. This is not the biggest problem in your life. So let's just try to get there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So you're driving. Now you've opened the store.
I've opened the store. That's probably the most routine because there's things I have to do.
Right.
Which it's just me literally putting the register into the iPad into the register, putting out the little things that I put out outside, like benches and chairs that I put there for fun. Nobody ever sits in them. And things like that, putting the music on, yelling at Google because it's not doing what I asked it to do. Specifically play the playlist. And, that's probably when I start to get the most routine. But then after that, all bets are off and it's what am I doing today?
Okay. Okay, that's fair, yeah, because that can look very different. So then maybe when you're closing the store or after hours, what does that kind of look like for you?
Gotcha. So I close the store at 6 or 4 or 3, depends on the day. And then usually head home. Going home, it's a little bit longer because of traffic, because I close at 6, so it's not as bad as closing at 5, but it's still not great. So that's usually when I put on like a podcast or a book or something, and I'm like, okay, this is time to relax after the day.
Yeah.
I guess enjoy doing nothing, and like there's literally nothing I can do other than drive home, so I'll listen to something.
There you go. Yeah.
That's usually more engaging than music because it just makes the time move faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do something like that.
Okay, let's take a quick break. For a limited time only, you'll have free access to my coffee page. No, not actual coffee. This is a place for all exclusive content that won't be on my Instagram or Facebook accounts. Check out sneak peeks, behind the scenes, extra audio clips, and much more. Just have a tap on my link tree, look out for that coffee cup icon, and boom, you'll be on your way.
Usually get home. My boyfriend cooks dinner. I'm very lucky. I hate cooking. I think it's the most boring waste of time. He's not a chef now, but he is a trained chef. So, like, that works.
I know where I'm going for dinner.
Exactly. So then usually get there, eat dinner. He's much more routine oriented. He's like, we eat dinner at 6:30. And I'm like, can we eat dinner earlier? And he's like, throwing my day off. So we eat dinner. We usually watch television. I'm a big proponent of watching TV as you eat. I don't get why people are like, let's talk about our day while our mouths are full. We can pause when we're done eating. That to me is weird. I always hated that. I also hate when people talk with their mouth full. So I'm a big proponent of watching Doctor Who while you're, eating dinner, and then stopping and talking. Because I'm hungry. Because as you know, I probably am not eating that much because I forgot to bring something to work.
This is true. Like only has grapes and graham crackers.
Honestly, my lunch today was grapes and graham crackers.
The
people.
2 G's.
Exactly. I'm basically, I don't know, a preschooler. So then we usually talk and watch TV and, do that kind of thing. And then he's a morning person. He's one of those weird people who are up at 5:30 and 6 and loves their mornings and coffee and news and such as, watching The Price is Right from the day before in the morning, that kind of weird thing. So he's tired by like 9:30, where I'm just starting to rev up for the day, honestly.
Like, I'm ready to go. Like, what am I doing now?
Exactly. So he'll go to bed, I guess like a normal person. Although I always am like, well, Law & Order SVU doesn't come on until 10. So, like, 11 is a normal time to go to bed.
Yeah.
That's what NBC tells us. But that's not when I go to bed. So usually he goes to bed and I'm like, okay, time to do something. So that's when I do a lot of my furniture painting. I do work when I'm at the store, but then, there's customers and things. So, like, I usually work on smaller projects in the store and bigger projects at home. So that's when I start. So, like, 9-10 p.m. is when I'm like, let's do a thing, which is not the way, I'm not going to say most people work. It's not the way that a lot of people work. It's not the way that time is structured around people.
True. Yeah.
Time is definitely structured for morning people. You guys have a real monopoly on things. So when I explain how my night goes, just take a deep breath, water off a duck's back. I'm not making you stay up late. This is just how I do it. So I start working at like 9-10 and I start getting things done. Because when the sun goes down and it is dark is when I am my most active and alert. And I'm very nocturnal in that way. Fun side note, I used to work at a Panera, and for some reason I became the opener. Don't know why.
No.
So I had to be at a Panera at like 5 a.m.
Oh my God.
And everyone's like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, it's still nighttime. I wake up, it's dark, I'm ready to go. The sun would start to come up and I would start to fade. Wow. So like I work really well at night. I'm one who blocks out the sun during the day. Like, I go out in the sun because it needs to be healthy. I need it to be healthy. Yeah. But we're not friends. It burns me and it's too bright. You. So I like
sunscreen.
Exactly. There's not enough sunscreen in the world. I'm always burnt. I'm very pale. So, my nemesis. No. So I like the nighttime, and I like how quiet it is. I like that everybody else is asleep. That's nice.
Okay.
You know, I'm not bothering anybody. I'm getting my
Yeah.
things done. I'm getting, you know, little
I
paints
do
out
like
and
the
such.
quiet. I will say that. Like,
Yeah.
any chance, I'm like, oh, it's quiet. Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, I was telling Matt before we started here, and, you know, living in the Conshy homes and a row home, and they're old and whatnot, it's like you hear everything. And so sometimes there isn't a chance to have any quiet time. And I love quiet time.
I know. It's great. You know, there's no children yelling outside because they're having fun. They're allowed to do that, but it's distracting. Or no one's mowing their lawn. Or,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
you know, there's,
Mowing their lawn.
I mean, maybe there's weird people shooting off fireworks in the middle of the night, but like things like that go away. So I can kind of focus. And we're
Yeah.
back again to putting on a podcast or me listening to the same books over and over on audiobook or something.
Okay.
And just kind of being in the zone and getting things done. It's like me time, which is nice.
I like that.
And being a night owl, it's like, let me take advantage of this. Because I will work from, like I said, 9, 10, and my body wants to be up until 2 a.m. I try to go
Wow.
to bed earlier, like at 12 or 1. Last night, I got into bed and I laid down and I'm like, this isn't going to happen, is it? And I look at my clock and I'm like, oh, it's only like 1:15. Of course you're not tired yet.
Oh
you
my
haven't hit that,
gosh.
you know, time.
Yeah.
And like on my days off, it's not unheard of for me to look at the clock and be like, it's 4 a.m. Okay, maybe we should go to bed now. Because
Wow.
it's when I'm active.
Yeah.
It's when I'm most active. It's when I'm most excited. And I'm just built different.
So, how long have you been doing this at night? Like,
So
doing
I've
furniture and
always
yeah.
worked at night, and I've always been the night owl. Flashback to high school. Like I said, we used to start very early. I would come home from school, take a nap. I'm putting that in air quotes. You can't see that. But I would sleep for like 2.5 hours maybe, so that I could be awake at night.
Oh.
So that I could catch up on sleep and then start my homework at night. So
Wow.
even in grade school, I used to do my homework late because that's just when I'm
That's so
working.
interesting.
That's when my
Yeah.
brain's working.
Yeah.
So I used to like compensate by taking long naps
Okay.
during the day. So it's kind of always been like that.
Yeah.
So painting at night was pretty normal.
Yeah.
Or doing work, like if I am lazy at work and don't get everything done that I need to and I have to do work at home, I'll wait till the evening. The last thing I want to do is come home from work and have to do something.
Right.
I need
you need that
time.
break to
Yeah.
come back, kind of reset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Decompress. Like I said, eat something, relax, and then be like, okay, time to work, time to do something. And it just works for me. I know other people who are like that, and like we find each other, and I'll be like, yeah, no, I was up till like 1 a.m. getting something done. And they'll be like, I was up until 1 a.m. too. You were up late? I'm up late all the time.
Wow.
Me too. And like,
There you
know,
go.
because like I said, the world is very structured to wake up with the sun. That's very normal.
Yeah.
It's how clocks work, but our biological, is it biological clock? No, that's
Yeah.
for when you're pregnant. But internal clock. Internal clock.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. Internal.
Internal clock works. Mine is just set to be active at night.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. I have family who are kind of like that, but I also have family who, you know, are morning people. But I don't know. That's
Okay.
my routine. My routine is chaos until nighttime. And then
Chaos
it's
until
kind of
nighttime.
nice and normal and fun and relaxing. Which, like I said, I know that's not how everybody works, but it's fun. You should try it.
Is there a night that you wouldn't paint, or do you typically do it every night? Like, I was gonna say, like, how do you feel if you don't do that at night? Like,
Gotcha.
you probably feel a little.
So if I'm not painting, if I'm like taking a break, which, you know, also need, because you can't work every single day. Even though it is something I enjoy, sometimes I'm like, it's not happening tonight. Then I'll just watch TV or read a book or do something, but I'll still be up
You'll
that
still be
late.
up. Okay.
Then I'll just watch, I don't know, tiny home tours on YouTube or something completely useless to my life. But it's just fun to relax and, you know.
Tiny home tours.
Tiny home tours.
What is
I was obsessed with them. I kept watching them because I'm like, as somebody who needs as much space as possible, I'm like, how do these people live in such tiny homes? And then all their homes started to look the same, or their like school bus homes started to look the same, yet I still watched them. So yeah, you know,
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who likes furniture and likes homes and is a maximalist, it's like interesting to watch people do the other thing. And I love seeing other people's homes without knowing them. Like, I'm one of those people who uses Zillow as social media and, like, goes and just looks at other people's houses. Like, I love homes. I'm a real home and furniture nerd. So,
love
yeah.
That.
So I do things like that. I'll surf Zillow, too. I will look at all of the shore houses that I cannot afford.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. In fact, earlier I went for a walk and, like, I saw... You know, just up the street, there's a house for sale. I was like, oh, I'll have to look it up because I want to see what... I
clocked that on my way here, and I was like, I have to look at it.
I want to see what it looks like inside. Because before it had a sign out that said coming soon, so I couldn't... It wasn't available to look it up. It was like old photos or whatever. Or it said like, not for sale. And I was like, oh yeah, now it says for sale. So I haven't looked it up, but I will. But yeah, you sound like you... Yeah. A little bit more intense with Zillow there, and but I think that's cool.
I just find it fun. Yeah, like I said, I love old homes. I love just seeing what they look like, seeing what people have done inside them. I will judge your home harshly, but you don't know, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm just interested in, like I said, I mean, I work in furniture, so I'm interested to see what type of furniture people put in their houses and what do people, you know, like. And it's kind of like surfing through Pinterest. With a little more personality. Okay. Because the Pinterest stresses me out because you can't save the picture. Throwing that out there. I know you can save it to your thing, but you can't save it to your phone. You can just screen cap it.
Okay.
But
gotcha. I was like, wait, you can save it.
You can save it to your Pinterest. I know that's the point, but like I want to send it to somebody without having to send them the link. So cool. Yeah, so that's kind of what I guess that's what I do on my off times. I will read. I do read. Okay, I will read a book.
Okay.
Or I'll watch TV, and yet still into the night.
Yeah.
Still just enjoying the nighttime. The nighttime by myself, decompressing. Which is why getting to the store at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. feels
so
late. So early. So
early, right?
That's why I'm getting there late, I should say. But that's why I feel so early. That's why I'm so chaotic in the morning, because my body wants to like go to bed at 2 a.m. and sleep until 10.
Yeah.
And that's my 8 hours. Also, I'm fine with sleep until 11. But so trying to, like, being able to set my own schedule, being a business owner, self-employed, I get to decide when I open. But also, realistically, I need to be open at like around 10 or 11. You know, I can't just open at 1 p.m. and expect everybody to be there.
Right, because people are like, why isn't this store open?
Yeah, why isn't that store open?
It's a Wednesday.
Exactly, it's a Wednesday at 12. I'm on my lunch break and it's closed.
It's closed.
So yeah, so that's why my mornings are so chaotic, because I am tired.
Yeah,
and
it makes sense.
One thing I left out, I guess, in most people's mornings is they drink coffee or tea or some type of caffeine. Yeah. I've never done that.
Really?
I don't like the taste of coffee.
Okay.
I don't like bitter things, coffee, alcohol, a lot of leafy greens, not my thing.
Okay.
Bitter's not great. So I don't drink coffee. I don't really drink tea. And so I just never really drank caffeine. Occasionally I have, and I'm like, oh, it does wake you up. But I just rather be tired. I don't... That's... Making coffee or having to go get it sounds like an extra step in my morning.
That is an extra step for you that you don't need.
Don't need. I'm going to be late as it is. Or open at exactly 11.
Yeah.
The biggest joke is I'm like, I open at 11 and people are like, so when do you get to work? 11. I just said that. What part of I open at 11? The key is in the door at 11. I throw the door open. Welcome. So that probably should explain my chaotic mornings, my Tasmanian devil morning of just trying to hope for the best.
Wait, so last question then. So then what are you drinking in the morning? Just water?
Just water.
Hey, that's good.
Water, Metamucil, you know.
Metamucil.
Because as you get older, the more you know, the more you're like, wow, fiber, everybody.
I take fiber in the morning as well.
Everybody.
I do the Bene fiber. You can see the
Nice.
tub right there.
You know, IBS. Only the
IBS.
only the sexiest people have IBS. Okay.
We have IBS. Look at us.
Hell yeah.
But I
So
do.
that's it. And you know what? I forget that all the time. And I'm like, at the point where I'm like, I need to keep Metamucil at the store for when I forget it.
Yeah, the little
because
container.
The
or
little
something.
container
Yeah.
things. Because that's it. Trying to have enough fiber and vitamins is my morning coffee attempt.
There you go.
And
wonderful.
to all those out there going, I would be so tired without coffee. Yeah, you're just tired. And it's okay to be tired.
You need to sleep more, so go to bed early.
So that's my other thing. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you sleep a little bit more? Why are we fake waking ourselves up? Just sleep a little bit more.
Yeah.
Sleep in on the weekend. You don't need to go hiking. I really sound like I'm attacking people who hike. I love people who hike. You're amazing, and I admire you.
We don't need to see the sunrise, is what we're saying.
Exactly. You can hike a little bit later. Or you know what?
later.
Hike in the evening when it's a little bit cooler and night's coming.
There
Trust
you
me,
go.
night's great, everybody.
Just bring a buddy so you don't get lost.
Exactly.
There you
And
go.
I will say my favorite thing in the world, one of them, is nighttime in the middle of the night after or during a snowfall. Especially right after.
Oh, that sounds
It is
very pretty.
the quietest thing in the world.
Ooh.
It'll be if you walk outside at like 2 a.m., it just finished snowing.
We're at 2 a.m.
There's no one around. It's wonderful. Would recommend. Would be worth
Okay.
waking up for. It's the most still, especially because we're always so busy, you know, in our lives. Cars are going past. Things are happening. We're thinking about things. It's the best time to just be like, wow, all of the chaos is away. And it's still the same world, but it is quiet. It is peaceful. Would recommend. It's what all the holiday songs are about.
Yeah,
Try
it
it.
is. Yeah, it sounds very relaxing and calm. And, wow, that's so wonderful. So thank you so much for joining me on the episode.
Absolutely.
This was a lot
Thank you
of
for
fun.
having me on. This was very fun.
Yeah, this is so much fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you'll have to come back on. But I guess before we wrap everything up, why don't you tell the listeners where they can find you if they want to get in touch with you or they want to come into the store?
Gotcha. So you can find me Wednesday through Sunday at the Artist Loft in Conshohocken on 14 East 5th Avenue, right off of Fayette Street. And you might say, I can't see your building. And to that I say, we're right next to the Gulf Station, across from the post office. You will be able to find us. Just look a little harder because we're right off the street. And then you can find us on social media. Well, first off, you can just Google the Artist Loft. Because that'll bring you to like address and all that kind of stuff. Google Business is great. Instagram is _artists loft. There's 1,000 artist lofts out there on Instagram apparently, so that's why ours, like I said, is _artist loft. That's why I say kind of Google us, because it'll be like the first thing that comes up if you get confused about that.
Perfect.
And then you can find us on Facebook. I think you just search the Artist Loft. I don't think there's an @ with Facebook. I don't really know how it works anymore. I really only have Facebook because of the store. Other than that, it's just like ads for Tide detergent and like angry people, so I try to avoid it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and I'll add all of this information in my show notes and on the social post, so you'll have all the information there. And yeah, I hope everyone resonated here and found connection with Matt's routine, and you know, maybe you are, you know, similar to him and myself, where you don't like to wake up very early, but you have to, and gotta get to the store on time or when it actually opens. And yeah, maybe you are one of those people that stays up real late into way beyond the evening when no one else is up. So there you have it. All right. Well, we'll catch everyone next week. See ya.
Bye.
All right, my friends. Thanks for listening, and be sure to listen to new episodes on your preferred platform. Stay up to date with my podcast by going to my Instagram or Facebook accounts at the Big Dane Podcast. Interested in being a guest? Just go to my link tree, tap on Be a Guest, and fill out the form. All right. Catch you next week.